Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video, we're gonna talk about a legendary camera from Nikon. So the camera that I'm gonna talk about is Nikon D700. Let's find out what kind of image you can get from this camera, if this camera is still relevant in 2022 and beyond or not. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the notification icon. And also you can check out other videos on my channel. This camera was launched in 2008, so it's almost 14-year-old. And if you look at the build quality for this camera, it's rock solid. If you smash someone in their head with this camera, the person gonna die, but nothing gonna happen to this camera. The weight of the camera is almost close to 1200 grams if you include the weight of the battery as well. So it's a very robust camera. It doesn't have a SD card slot. Rather, it has a CF Express card which is more robust compared to the SD card. Now, this camera can shoot only photos, no video. This is not the camera if you are looking for a video camera. This is a photography camera. This is a photographer's camera. It can shoot 12 megapixel photos, and the photos from this camera, it has some kind of a character. The high ISO noise on this camera is rendered in such a way that it looks really very beautiful. And trust me guys, the colors out of the camera are certainly very different from any other camera of Nikon that I've used. And I love the colors that I get from this Nikon camera compared to many other more expensive camera that I've used. In terms of the usability and the build quality, this is a professional camera. It has all the dials, all the buttons that you need. Body is weather sealed. It is rock solid. It is built like a tank. It is made to last. It is a workhorse. The ISO on this camera goes from 200 to 6400, and the frame per second is 5 frames per second. So not the best camera when it comes to wildlife, action or sports, but 5 frames per second is still good enough if you want to do portrait photography, wedding photography, landscape photography. Yeah, it does have less dynamic range. It has around 12.2 dynamic range, but it has the option of bracketing. Using the bracketing, you can convert your photos into high dynamic range photos. Now I'm gonna put onto the screen some of the photos that I've taken with this camera, and the photos look really excellent. I'm in love with the photos that I've taken with this camera. I used a 50mm lens, 50mm f1.8D lens, since this camera has a built-in focus motor, so all the older lenses, the T series lenses, the AF lenses, all of them will autofocus on this camera without any problem whatsoever. Some of the best photos that I've taken in my life have been taken with this camera. For example, when my first baby was born and I did a photo session for the baby, all the photos were taken using this camera and they were so awesome and I just loved it. Now let's talk if you should buy this camera in 2022 or not, and for what price can you get this camera. So I got this camera used for around 250 US dollar, which is such a good price for this camera. And the shutter count on this camera is 114,000, but this camera is known to go even till 1 million shutter count and still it works. This camera was made in Japan and it has something unique about the build quality to this. All those made in Japan camera, they last so much longer compared to the camera that were made in Taiwan or in China. Nowadays, most of the Nikon cameras are made in Taiwan, and they are not so good in terms of image quality like this one. This is a heavy based, and also the image processor used in this camera is, I think, from Panasonic, and there is something unique about that. But the way it renders the images, the high ISO noise that it converts into very fine artistic looking grain is really very unique. The colors are very different. You can never get the kind of colors that you get from this camera with any other camera guys. So if you want to have a backup body for yourself, you want to do studio photography, wedding photography, you already have a Nikon gear, you need a backup body, then this is an excellent choice because you can get this one for around just 250 US dollar, which is such a good price for this. Or if you are a beginner, if you have been using those APS-C or TX camera for a while, because this is a full frame camera, this would be the cheapest way to enter the Nikon full frame world for you, and you can make best use of your lenses. You would be able to get more background blur and get more cleaner image because you are gonna utilize the entire 35 mm sensor. So all in all, this camera is still very relevant in 2022 and it is gonna be relevant still few years from now, let's say in 2025 or beyond. It is a kind of legendary camera and the legends never die. This is here to stay. You can buy this camera and keep it with you forever and even use it like 10 years from now or 20 years from now because the images that you get from this camera, they have some kind of a character. So guys, I hope you like my video. If you like the video, please like and share it and subscribe to the channel. Also check out other videos on my channel as well.